WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. I have something from Stauning, a Danish whiskey, a limited edition single cask whiskey. Isn't a single cask always a limited edition? I just think it's kind of, well, redundant, you know? All right, so this is Heather single malt whiskey. Heather means they actually take heather, yeah, you know, heather, the type of plant, and they use it instead of peat to actually smoke their single malt, their malted barley. And they do it themselves in Stauning in Denmark. Everything's in-house there, which is cool. And then they finish this in an orange liqueur cask. We'll talk about the orange liqueur in a moment. All right, so this is Whiskybase number 219883. We were originally recommended retail price about €79.90. This actually was distilled on the 12th of January, single cask, 2018, and it was bottled in July of 2022. 4 years of age, 50%, cask number 5739. Kirsch Import is a German exclusive here. 50% ABV, yay. Now on the back of the label, it does say a little bit of information. Oops, let's pour so it has a little bit of time in the glass, and then we can talk about this. So, healthy pour. All right, from me. Stauning Whiskey's philosophy is simple, but the result is complex. Great start. We only use local barley. So they take barley from the west coast of Denmark. Who would have known that barley is a good product on the west coast of Denmark? Good, local. And we handle every part of whiskey making in-house. So the grains are floor malted. So they actually created a little robot machine that turns it automatically a couple every hours. And so they can actually malt their own grains. So they malt their own barley. Fantastic. So they dry everything themselves. They mash everything themselves. They ferment everything themselves and then double distill everything in their 24 small direct fired pot stills. Now, direct fired is something which is very unique. Small pot stills, I think they're like 400 and 600 liter umbilic thing. And what they did is originally they had a pair of pot stills originally, and so they times it by 6. So they increased the capacity by 12 by 6. They originally started out almost 20 years ago, 2006, producing 200 to 400 liters, and they went to 600, 6,000 to 8,000, and now they're at between 700 and 900,000 liters that they can produce there if they run 24/7. You never know what the bottleneck is. Is it the mashing? Is it the malting? Springbank could do much more if they had bigger malting floors. The stills do not run 24/7 there. I've been there. I was there on one day, and I don't ever see the pot stills running at pot. I do see mashing happening. I do see other floor malting always when I was there, but pot stills do not run 24/7 there because the bottleneck is the floor malting. And the same thing here. I think floor malting would be the biggest problem. New fermenters, mashers would not be. Fermenters are different than mashers. Sorry. The mash tun is not the problem. The fermenter is also not. So they mash it, they ferment it, and they double distill it there. The new make was matured in a, looky here, we have a first fill American oak barrel, virgin oak, for 3 years, and finished in a orange liqueur cask for amazing sweetness and body. No chill filtering, and no color added. Simply the character and flavor profile of the spirit and the individual cask. Skål. So in Germany we say Prost. In Germany and English we say cheers. In Scotland they say slanche, slanche va. And so here they actually say skål. So I'm going to compare it to something. Stauning rye whiskey. Single cask rum, Barbados rum, cask finish. Now here we do know it's 3 years, so it's a 4-year product. So was it a whole year? And the orange liqueur finish, I do not know. What is orange liqueur? So that is something that I didn't really think about until this whiskey here. Orange liqueur is simply a sweetened alcoholic beverage with orange flavoring. The alcohol itself can be either a column distilled neutral spirit, basically vodka, or it may be a pot still spirit, such as a grape brandy. So it doesn't matter if it's made from a grain or from a grape. All right, so we just take basically a neutral spirit, grain neutral, a grape neutral spirit, and then we add orange flavoring to it, sweetener, and then we actually distill it, we water it down. All right, so it's basically a gin. Instead of botanicals, we just use a little bit of sweetener and orange flavoring. Not something I really, really want to talk about. All right, so one of the most famous ones would be here are Curacao. Usually we think of the blue, but no, it can also be other things. And there's other orange liqueurs out there from Mexico, from USA, from Germany, from Belgium. A lot of them come from France. One I even found from Mexico. So I just mentioned Mexico twice, didn't I? I was very surprised to see that twice there. All right, so this is a Barbados rum. I think the guys at Stauning are doing a fabulous job. Originally 9 men that said, hey, we have a passion for whiskey. Let's start our own distillery. I was like, okay, we need to have permits. We need to have a building. We need to have a still. We need to have this. And they started and they made their dream come true. It was so good even that Diageo said, hey, we want to invest. And they now have a 40% partnership with them. 40% belongs to Diageo. 60% still belong to the guys in Denmark. I know a few of them, and I think what they've done and what they are doing is fabulous. I'm worried a little bit about the orange liqueur. I once had a willet with that orange liqueur once, and I hated it with a passion. I think over here in Europe, so the European Union, we're now talking about places that do not have their own regulations for whiskey. Scotland has their own, Ireland has their own, the rest of Europe doesn't. So if you make whiskey down in Italy, they have the exact same rules as you do in Denmark or in Germany or France or Spain or any place else in the European Union, by the way. And it basically says here, a distilled spirit from grains with yeast, put in a wooden barrel, no bigger than 70 CLs for an age of at least 3 years, and bottled at a minimum of 40%. Does not tell you how you have to distill it. Does not say if you have to distill it once, twice, 3 times. No regulations there. Only in the last couple of years have we actually found out how we added on what a single malt is. One distillery, 100% malted barley. And so this is a single malt. So it's single, one distillery, malt 100% malted barley. The heather they use instead of peat to actually dry then and add that peaty, smoky flavor here. I can't use the word peaty, so smoky flavor. On the nose, I get more I get more smoke than I do orange. I think that the orange liqueur cask that they used here was not a first fill, and I'm very, 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 very thankful for that. I think that the orange liqueur is balanced. I think the heather of the single malt, there's normal single malt, there's heather, there's chaos where they mix the single malt and the rye, and we have over here in the rye as well with different finishes. If you are ever at a place, let's say a whiskey festival, a whiskey fair, and Stauning actually have a booth, go there. Try this awesome, unique product from Denmark. My family and I think we spent every year at least once, 14 years basically, we were up in Denmark. I thoroughly enjoy hygge. Yeah, this comfortable lifestyle, hygge. It's with a Y, but hygge, where they actually just learn how to have a work-life balance. Have you ever been to Copenhagen? A beautiful, beautiful city where they actually learn to work hard but play hard as well. And the west coast of Denmark, where there's a lot of agriculture and a lot of German tourism there, is a place we can really relax in the North Sea, walk the beaches, and just clear your head. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful country with great people. And I thoroughly enjoy Denmark and Danish people. So I can highly recommend anything from Stauning if you can get it. They are sometimes unique, exotic, weird, but what they're doing has balance and has really a great profile. I can totally understand why Diageo bought into them. All right, so let's try this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. It's interesting. It's very interesting. The heather peat. At the beginning, there's a little bit of peat. I tried to exemplify it with my fingers here. But then it turned almost into an ashy peat. I can't say peat, an ashy smoke. This is a peated whiskey. This will beat a Highland Park on the amount of um, smokiness. Smokiness in this bottle. I am not a smoke peat fan, so I'm not wowing and wooing about this, but I really enjoy the balance. First, I have the peat, then I have a sweetness with the orange, and then I have a little bit of wood. The 50%, well done. Not 46, that minimum to have non-chill filtered, not 43, 40, 50%. Yay. We in America love our 50%, right? Bottle and bond and all that. Even our alcohol is measured in 50%. The Scottish people actually, I'm going to say lie when they say we have an annual production of 1 million liters of alcohol. You can't do 100% pure alcohol over there. So, but hey, if you have 1 million liters in Scotland at 100%, it'd be equal to 200 liters of alcohol in America in the cask because we measure it at 50%. So this is if I were a peat head, if I loved my peaty smoky whiskeys, this would be a C plus. I don't. It's a C minus. But I do like the balance. I do like the single malt. I do like the heather moment going on here. It's a little bit too much for me. That smokiness. I like a hint of smoke, and there's more smoke here. But I was really worried that the orange liqueur would take over, which it doesn't. It supplements, it complements, it really just adds to a nice little flavor profile there. Well done. All right, so interesting enough, when I add a little bit of water, I do have 50%, so let's take it down to about 45. Mm. Mm. The smokiness of this whiskey is diluted a little bit. It does come in towards the end. You get a nice fireplace smoke going on there, as if you're, I don't know, have I ever had someone actually throw heather onto a bonfire? It's almost like a bonfire moment going on here. And then threw in a whole crate full of oranges on top. Yeah, I can almost go to a C. Value for money, it's 80 euros over here. I'm not going to be buying another bottle. This, I would actually consider buying another bottle, 75 euros. Um, this is just not my wheelhouse. I'm not a peat. I don't gravitate towards the peat or the smoke. And I know many people who have not tried this will be, I'm going to say, so pleasantly surprised. I'm really surprised that there still are bottles out there because I am so astonished at how well this fits into my palate. Um, well done, gentlemen. Well done. Well done. Value for money. If I were a peat head and I gave this a C plus, I would give it actually a C minus. Minus for the value for money. It's almost 4 years, 80 euros, 20 euros per year. It's a little bit too expensive, but for the flavor profile and so on, it's still a C. Buy it if you like. I do not prefer that. It's a C minus for my taste buds, therefore it's a D for value for money. I'm not going to go out and say, oh, 80 euros, don't know what to buy, going to go buy this. I would buy a Pikesville. I'm going to a Rye. I would buy a Booker's. I would buy Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I would buy anything else instead of this. But it is a interesting whiskey that I'm sure many of my friends, especially in blind taste, will be. That's interesting. Oh, yeah. Wait a second. Oh, yeah. It's not a Taliska. It's not a Ben Romach. It's not a Kilhoman. Is it maybe something newer? What are we doing? And there's that orange flavor going on in there as well. But just it's enough. It's there, but it's not overpowering. I'm sure many people would thoroughly, thoroughly enjoy this bottle. To contradict it, I'm going to go to the rye that they also produce at Stauning. I think they've improved so much over the years. Stauning has some good stuff. Mm, mm. A little bit of that rum finish towards the end. A darker, deeper, whole grain type of rye moment going on here. Also, the 54%, absolutely wonderful integrated. This is a bottle I would actually reach towards, and I would actually think about buying a new bottle of this. So very, very good products here from Stauning Whiskey Distilling Company from Denmark. So, question of the day. What other orange liqueur finish products have you had? I'm sure there's been people out there, not just Willet and not just Stauning, that have tried this. And my last question is, from Denmark, have you tried anything? Have you seen any whiskeys from Denmark that you can say you've tried or even recommend? Both of these are unique in their own way, and they even have a chaos. They have a bastard. They have peated single malt. They have normal single malt. They have here rye. They have experimental casks with rye. I'm sure they have like over 20 different casks at the moment in the warehouses that they're trying. So it's going to be a unique, interesting time with Stauning to try, taste, and enjoy their whiskeys. If you ever see them, try them. Try them before you buy them, but do try them. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, and telling others. Whiskey Jason here. All the best. Bye-bye.